Thank you so much for inviting me to give this talk, and thank you for those of you that showed up or will watch it later online. Okay, I don't have any disclosures. Does the timer work? Yeah, please. Okay, so before I start my talk, I want to introduce you guys to my fiance. If you look at this picture and you don't see anything, you just see an empty chair. Let me point out who my fiance is, which is this neck and back support device that had to come around with me everywhere for about 2 years. And really, I never imagined my life with such a boring partner, but that's sort of what ended up happening when I went from being a fully functional surgeon to being a statistic. So it took me after 2 rough years, I was ready to tell everyone my story and to be a cautionary tale. And I wrote about it in General Surgery News, and that is me here. It was an older picture. And what happened afterwards was something I didn't expect, which is surgeons from everywhere started reaching out to me. Surgeons I did know, surgeons I didn't know, texting, email, social media, and they started all telling me about the physical problems that they were having too. And I just realized, wow, this problem is everywhere. I had no idea that so many people suffer from this. And from that, I realized, we all need to start talking about surgeon health, surgeon physical health, especially something that we never talk about. So I'm hoping to do that a little bit today, in addition to talking about ergonomics. So do surgeons have pain? Yes, I think we all know surgeons have pain, but this study actually quantified it or showed us how much pain surgeons have. It was a meta-analysis done with 24 studies, over 5,000 surgeons from different specialties, and it showed that many surgeons have back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain. Those were the most common, but there's also other types of pain, things that we don't even think about, like eye pain, 26%. So surgeons have a lot of pain. Is it different when you're performing minimally invasive or open surgery? The overall, there's no difference between the two, but whenever someone performed a minimally invasive operation, they did report significantly more pain in several areas like their neck, their arm, shoulder, their hands. The robot might help with this, but we just don't have enough information. And it could be that we're going to find a whole host of other problems that come with that as well. So we don't have enough information, but the pain is there. We know that. So what do surgeons think about it? What do we do about it? Well, this study looked at surgeons and asked them, how much pain do you have after operating? 61% said they had worse pain after they were operating. But look how few of them actually sought treatment, 29% only. And even the same amount, 30% actually thought about their own physical health when they were choosing the operation for the patient. So yes, it's wonderful and great to always think of the patient first, but we have to also think about the surgeon as well, because a surgeon has to be healthy in order to function properly and to do their job properly. And oftentimes this is what happens. We start our careers, residents as young attendings, we feel great, we look great, we're like, I'm Wonder Woman, I can do this, and then we don't take care of ourselves. We forget about ourselves, and then things just really go downhill from there. And really what we want to do is prevent this from happening to any of us. There's consequences to the individual surgeon. I've listed a number over there, but really what ends up happening is I don't want what happened to me to happen to anyone else. I dream of operating at night because that's the only time I can operate now. And really, a lot of this is preventable, but we have to start it early. There's also consequences to the field of surgery. It takes a long time to train us, and then when our careers end early, then we have less surgeons. So there's a lot of problems associated with this. So we know prevention is the key. It's the best thing, better than treatment often. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about are ergonomics. And ergonomics is a good way of prevention. So what is ergonomics? It's really the concept of designing a working environment to fit the worker, instead of forcing the worker to fit the work environment. Sounds great, right? And there are things actually that go along with our field. So let's talk about that. I really like this picture. This picture was actually taken in an operating room while two surgeons were operating. And then they got an artist to draw in the curvature of the spine of what it would look like if we were actually looking in there. I think we can all say that this is not good. This does not look like a good position to have your spine be in for minutes, for hours, day after day, year after year. So this is really what we're doing to our bodies, and we don't think about it. Here's two other real-life pictures of two really great attending surgeons that I know, and they're teaching their residents and their fellows, and we could see their neck is not going to hold up well day after day, year after year in this position. But we have simple fixes. Look at this. Microscope, all of a sudden your neck is in good position. So, some people say the microscope isn't available, this, that. I think we need to start standing up for ourselves and say, I need the microscope for this case. Get more microscopes, because the surgeons are important. We can't anymore say, oh, okay, no microscope, it's fine. I will hurt my neck and I will do the operation that way. In this study, they actually put wearable technology on surgeons, and they calculated how often their bodies were in positions that were either high risk or very high risk. So high risk is in yellow, and very high risk is in red. And there is a significant amount of time that surgeons are spending while they're operating in high risk and very high risk positions. So again, it's the cumulative effect of all this that's a problem. So what can we do to fix our ergonomics? There are simple things. You may or may not have heard of this. Putting the table at elbow level, making sure that the monitor is in front of you and you're not looking up or looking down. Sometimes this is impossible with the way that the rooms are made. But again, I think this is where we have to be our own advocate and tell them that they need to allow us to be able to move the monitor properly so you don't hurt your neck. There's also other things to consider. Shoulder angle, elbow angle, things like that. These are all good, but I think that these need to be practiced outside of the operating room first so that your body gets used to being in those positions so that the alternative doesn't feel normal when you're actually in the operating room. We also can't forget about how we are at our desks. This is also, it's actually easier because you're one person and one desk and managing that. But really what I think is the most important is that each individual surgeon needs individualized ergonomic assessment and optimization. They have professionals that do this. Your hospital can get you one, and they can come and observe you and make sure that you are optimized as much as possible for your own ergonomics for your body. And I think this is really important because we're all very different. And I think that I hope that one day it will be a standard part of every surgeon's career is to have this ergonomic assessment. But sometimes ergonomics is not enough for several reasons. We know that you can't standardize operating rooms that well. Again, it's not a desk and you're not one person just looking at a screen. There's different surgeons, different heights. How is it when I operate with someone who's 6 feet tall? I'm on 3 steps. That's just how it is. Patients are different. Cases are different. So it's really hard to standardize it. The other thing also is that when you're in the zone, you're operating, it's a difficult time of the case. You're not thinking about your body. You're just doing what you need to do to get the patient safely through the operation. So sometimes we're not thinking about it. Next, surgical instruments. They have these strict regulatory requirements, and sometimes they sacrifice ergonomics to fit those requirements. And finally, we're not anesthesiologists, so we can't really take breaks all that well. But there are micro breaks, and this has been written about, where you take small little micro breaks for a few seconds, and that actually relieves some of the physical stress on your body. So really, prevention is the key. So hopefully, no matter what stage you are in your career, prevention is possible. And the main things for me is, maximize your ergonomics as much as possible, but also prioritize your health. If you have a problem, get help for it. There's a lot of help out there, whether it's traditional Western medicine, alternative treatments, things like that. And really, I think that every surgeon needs to schedule time in their daily schedule for their health, whether it's strength training or any kind of recovery time. Just like you schedule cases, you schedule OR, it should be non-negotiable time for your health every single day. I hope that that becomes a reality one day. Finally, I just want to give a little plug-in for the second article that was after mine, written by my occupational therapist, Dr. Jarrell Russell. And this guy is really the reason why I could stand here today. The treatment that he gave me was unlike anyone else's, and really he took me from someone, I thought I was going to be a chronic pain patient forever, and after working with him for about a year or a little over a year, I can now stand here and talk and act like a normal human being. So my nerve damage will never be normal, but at least I'm a functional human being. He wrote a great article with some good tips in there if you guys want to check that out. Other helpful resources, there's a new society, the Society of Surgical Ergonomics. Check that out. There's a website, there's a meeting coming up, some other good resources right there. And finally, I want to share with you guys what I think is the first surgeon wellness center at a surgical meeting. And the whole point of this is for us to start talking about surgeon wellness and to say when we go to a meeting, you can take time out of the meeting to take care of your health. This is going to be an opportunity for surgeons to have in their registration fee included sessions with different practitioners who can optimize the surgeon's physical health. And this is going to be at the IHC meeting in 3 weeks. So this is my fiance now. We've broken up, and it sits in my exercise closet to remind me every day that if I don't take care of myself, I could go back to that person who couldn't function like a normal human being. I'm very excited about this breakup. I hope we can celebrate it here in Denver. And all I have to say is please take care of yourself, because we are all irreplaceable in our field. Thank you.